So this is Premiere Pro, a quick how to bring in your footage and everything. The first thing that you want to do is file new project. Okay, so right now I have a project open that is everything you see on the screen here. Okay, a sequence is what we would call a timeline. Okay, so in iMovie or Final Cut, it's a timeline. In Premiere, it's a sequence. So this here is my sequence. All right, if you need to make a new sequence, you can go to File, New, Sequence, or Command N. All right, and so when you do that, it's going to ask you all these questions. Ignore everything. You don't have to worry about any of this stuff. Just the one thing I would do is rename the sequence to something that makes sense. So animation, stop motion, whatever, and hit OK. I've already done that. Now you want to import your video. Now I'm assuming at this point you've already plugged your SD card into your computer and you've taken your video and photos, whatever it might be, and put it onto your desktop. Okay, that we've done before. Help each other out if that is confusing. Just make sure to stay organized. So once you've done that, you're going to go to File, Import. Okay, and then you're going to go to your folder that you've created and you're going to select your video. Okay, and you're going to hit Import. All right, so here I have my video and I have my sequence or my timeline. I'm going to take my video, I'm going to drag it over into my timeline. Okay, so here it is. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I have to delete the parts where you see me. Okay, or in this case, you see upper school student Josh Green. All right, so I'm going to just take a little bit of the beginning here, okay? I'm concentrating on Mr. Potato Head. I'm going to take the beginning. I'm going to hit the C, my letter C on my keyboard, which is the shortcut for my razor tool. And I'm going to click on my timeline, which makes a cut. I'm now going to scroll forward with my playhead. Okay, so there's Josh. He's coming in. He's going to move Mr. Potato Head. I'm going to wait for him to move out. Cool. So now he's out of the frame. I'm going to make two cuts now. One cut, all of this stuff is where Josh was moving. I'm going to be deleting that. And while I have my razor tool here, I'm also going to go forward a little tiny bit, click again. So I've isolated now a little tiny section where Josh is not in the frame. I'm going to hit the letter V tool on my keyboard. Okay, so right next to each other, C and V. And that goes back to my selection tool. I'm going to click all of this part where, again, we see Josh moving, hit delete, and now I'm going to select this blank spot, which is also called a ripple in Premiere Pro, and hit the delete key on my keyboard so it all snapped together. So now I have this little bit with Mr. Potato Head, and notice how he moves a little bit, right? All right, so now I'm going to scroll forward. There's Josh again. Wait till he gets out of the frame. Hit the letter C key and make two little cuts to isolate a little tiny bit where I cannot see him. I'm going to hit the letter V to go to my selection tool, click and delete. So I'm going to keep doing that until I have a little stop motion of Mr. Potato Head moving. So I'm going to speed through this right now with the magic of movie editing because I don't think you need to see me do all of this. Okay, movie editing magic. Woo! I have Mr. Potato Head, and he is dropping this remote, okay, and turning the TV on. Cool. All right. So now what I need to do is I have to make sure that each of these little clips are just a couple of frames, because right now if I was to play it, it's not really consistent with how long the frames are, and it's a little bit jumpy. So I'm going to select all of these frames. All right, all I did was click above it, hold my mouse down or my trackpad down, and scroll until they're all selected. I'm going to hit Control, click, and go to speed duration. Now I'm not messing with the speed. The speed would be if I wanted to take all of the clip and make it go really fast or make it go really slow. That's not what I want to do. I actually want to change the duration. This is called a time code. The way we read this is hours, minutes, seconds, frames. So I want to make sure that each one is about 3 frames. You can mess with it. See what happens if you make it 1 frame or 5 frames. See what happens. I'm going to change it to 4 frames. And then I want to check this box here. If I do not check this box, I'm actually going to show you what happens. I'm going to hit OK. You see how there's these blank spaces, these ripples in between everything? All right, I would have to go through by hand and delete each of those, which is annoying. So instead, I'm going to select all these, Control click, speed, duration. I'm going to change this to 4 frames, and now I want to hit this ripple edit. Hit OK. And now it's deleted all of those little spaces for me. Okay, so now if I go in, oops, let's zoom a little bit. If I go in and hit play, it's a little bit more consistent. If when you're playing it, you notice that you or a person keeps coming into the frame, don't worry about it for now. That's something that we can work around by doing freeze frames instead of just editing the person out. But for now, we're not going to worry about it. Do not stress about it. You've done everything right.